Socio will explain in detail, called the Stemathon, and an award night every year for the deserving members. This year, the theme revolves around advancing Gambia's socio-economic development in research and innovation. This is an area that we all know the impact it has on our society. And at this point, I would like to engage the government of the day to look into areas of introducing all STEM schools in the Gambia. We have them in Ghana and they are doing extremely well. Despite forming 50% of the population, women in the Gambia form 50% of the population. So if we don't engage that percentage into STEM fields, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, it will be very difficult to develop our country. In the next coming years, what I want to see is to have girls who will be standing where I am standing here today, to be exhibiting their projects, the new innovations they have founded that can be of great impact to the country. I don't want to take much of your time, so I will conclude by thanking the Executive of Women in Stem Gambia. They have been working extremely hard. And this is a message from the entire executive who would like to thank Nyimba Jobate. Do we have Nyimba in the room? She has been working extremely well. She opened almost all the chapters and handles all our social media, all our social media platforms. In our constitution, we have what we call honorary members. These are personnel who really assisted us in what we do. And we would like to confer this title to some of the people we have worked with from the beginning. The first honorary member will be Auntie Aissatou Sekadia. We have Dr. Tumani Kora, sorry. And we all refer to him as a member, Honorable Pierre Gomez. We also have, what's the name again? Sorry, yeah, Honorable Pierre Gomez. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to take much of your time today because I'm one of the spectators. I just want to sit and enjoy the show. Thank you.
All right, there you go. Incredible achievements there. I mean, we can all agree and recognize the impact that WeStem has had in STEM in the Gambia. So incredible achievements, and we can't wait to see what WeStem has to offer. Before we proceed, we have just missed one of the representatives of the school chapters. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the representative of the school chapter from St. Peter's High School. Okay, let's move on to the second item of our agenda. Now we move on to the remarks from Mr. Mukhtar Dabo, the Deputy Permanent Secretary, Technical Minister in the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause.
Good morning. Distinguished members of the High Table, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to deliver a statement on behalf of the Honorable Minister of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, Honorable Professor Pierre Gomez. The statement reads, "It's an honor to address you today on behalf of the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology at this significant event organized by the Women in STEM. otherwise called YSTEM. The team advancing the Gambia's socio-economic development through research and innovation underscores the crucial role that research and innovation play in the future of our nation. As we gather here today, we are acutely aware of the pressing challenges facing our world, chief among them being waste management and climate change. The impact of these challenges on our environment, health, and overall quality of life cannot be overstated. It is heartening, therefore, to witness the dedication of the Women in STEM initiative to address these issues through their innovative work and commitment to research. Waste management has become a critical concern in our rapidly developing society. The accumulation of waste poses environmental and health risks that demand immediate attention and innovative solutions. Our government is committed to supporting research that explores sustainable waste management practices, recycling technologies, and waste-to-energy initiatives. The work of women in STEM in this domain is commendable, and I encourage further collaboration and support for their initiative. Climate change is another formidable challenge that requires concerted effort to mitigate its effects and adapt to the changing climate patterns. The Gambia, like many other nations, is vulnerable to the impact of climate change, and it's imperative that we invest in research and innovation to develop resilient solutions.
The ministry is working on ways to mitigate these problems and, of course, encouraging gender inclusivity in STEM. This is something that we are very glad to hear about. Now moving on to the next item of the agenda, we have a keynote speech from Engineer Kani Job, the Director of Exploration, Ministry of Energy, and a WeSTEM member. Here is just a short bio about Kani Job. So Kani Job Tal is a dedicated and strategic petroleum engineer and energy executive with a passion for cleaner and renewable energy technologies, who has worked on energy projects in different continents over the past 15 years. She holds a master's engineering in oil and gas. She is also an accredited master's in project management. She has worked internationally with PDVSA, the Venezuela National Oil Company, and she's an activist and at heart. She advocates for universal energy access, gender equity, and leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, please join your hands to welcome Madam Kani Job for this keynote speech.
The high table. I would be mistaken if I tried to address each and every one of you by name. I salute all of you, and I congratulate the WeSTEM president, Ms. Kodu Jengay, the WeSTEM advisor, Madam Jojondu Tambetu, of course the PRO, Yuma Jabati, and the entire executive, the membership here present today. I would have to correct that I do not work for the Ministry of Petroleum and Energy. I work for the Gambia National Petroleum Corporation as the Director of Exploration. And in my role, I advise, structure, and negotiate engagements with international energy companies. I advise on exploration projects for both conventional and non-conventional energies, oil, gas, hydrogen, helium. And my work is underpinned by decades of research. So it is kind of a bit fitting that I'm here, even though I had very short notice. Because I have a habit of turning off my WhatsApp notifications, I only found out that I'm the keynote speaker to this yesterday morning. And between work and social obligations, which made me miss out on the WeSTEM movie night, I have not been able to research and innovate my keynote address. However, I'd like to start by saying the Gambian attitude to research and development and innovation is something I encounter daily in my work. So in oil and gas exploration, in energy exploration in general, the work takes, the shortest cycle is 25 to 30 years. And the work typically can take 100 years. It took Ghana 100 years to find the oil and gas that they knew was in the ground. And it took Senegal about 70 years. And so everyone around me is impatient. Where's the oil and gas that you're working on? And I'm like, oh, you need to be patient with this. It is going to take a couple more decades. And so what we realize is that it is almost invisible. Maybe I should even say it's actually totally invisible. People do not see the relevance of building the capacity needed for oil and gas exploration in the Gambia because they do not see it happening in the shortest possible time frame. And this is the sad reality that underscores the Gambian and the African mentality when it comes to research, innovation, and development. This is why the Western world has continued to develop socio-economically, and all the indices of their lives have improved, while the daily realities of the West, electricity, dishwashers, washing machines, all the shiny objects that they use and they take for granted, we do not have. We do not have electricity. Electricity was invented 200 years ago. We have the resources that powers the world, but we do not have electricity. And this is because we are, for far too long, we are always too content. We have remained the closest to nature because we cannot imagine or envision or think in cycles of 30 years or 40 years or 50 years. Recently, I was in Iceland at the Reykjavik Global Forum of Women Leaders, and someone said, if you knew the world was ending today, if you knew for a fact that the world was ending today, would you go ahead and plant an apple tree or write a note, just in case? And most of us won't. Most of us won't. We won't do that. And that's the difference. That's what's about research and innovation. It's the thinking. We are behind as Gambians and Africans, not because we do not have scientific thinking powers or abilities, but because they have not been enabled, harnessed, and utilized in an organized and systemic way like the West have. And so we do not even need to go far to think about what is the role of science, of innovation, of research, technology and development when it comes to socio-economic development. We only need to look at our reality as a continent that is extremely rich in natural resources, but the poorest people in the world. And the research is mind-numbing because we spend 1% of the global research spending. We spend 1% of that, 54 countries, 1-point-something billion people. We spend 1% of the global spending on research and development. As a country, the smallest mainland country in Africa, do we have a national innovation policy? Do we realize that in the lack of natural resources that are easily accessible, we still have human resources, a human population that is just as talented and that is just as educated, because we do have the highest statistics of brain drain relative to our population when you look at it. There are more Gambians in international and world-leading organizations than are in the shores of Gambia when it comes to that sort of relative statistic. And basically what you realize is that unless we realize that without without research and development being a priority, without having the political will, without having the organizational dispensation to ensure that we focus on critical thinking, that we focus on a long-term view.
Madam Chairman, members of the High Table, President of Stem, Madam Kodjeng, Stem executive members, EU representative, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys. It gives me great pleasure to stand here as the Executive Director of the Q Group Foundation and as a woman working in STEM for almost 3 decades to deliver some few remarks on the first annual conference of STEM. But before I begin, let me first of all congratulate and commend Kodu, Jengay, and her team for this brilliant idea of bringing together women working in STEM under one umbrella to discuss and address pertinent issues, and most importantly, provide a platform for mentoring young girls to venture into STEM. I think many of you are aware of the Q Group Foundation and the work that we do, but for those that are not aware, the Q Group Foundation is the philanthropic arm of QCell, QuantumNet, and other members of the Q Group of companies, and was established as a way of giving back to our community. Our primary goal is to address societal challenges and promote a positive change in areas such as education, healthcare, and community development. We firmly believe in the values of integrity, innovation, and social responsibility, and we are committed to individuals and community in need, particularly youth and women. So we are very proud to be associated with YSTEM, and as they embark on this journey to unleash the strength and talent of every Gambian female in STEM. Madam Chair, the world has transformed completely with technology, with the advent of the internet taking a center stage, defining the way we live, work, and do business. In fact, internet is now being defined as one of the critical infrastructure, and access to the internet is being regarded as a fundamental human right. Well, one might ask, how did we get here? How did we get here? Well, looking around the room, I believe, apart from CD, I am one of the few in this room that is privileged to have witnessed this transformation happen over the past 4 decades. Let me tell you, this invention and transformation did not happen overnight. It happened after years and years of research by scientists and engineers working around the world together, beginning in the 1970s, to innovate and to standardize ideas on how to communicate and share data easily. And the work still continues. Thus, your team, socio-economic development through research and innovation, cannot be more fitting as you begin your journey to lay the foundation of WeStem. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, innovation begins with an idea. It could be a plan for an improved product or service. It could be an updated method for running your operations. It could be a new business model. Innovation is about successfully implementing this idea to create or add value to the lives of people. And this is where research and development comes in. R&D, as it's formally called, involves creative work undertaken on a systematic basis to produce knowledge that can be used to generate new technologies and innovations. Research provides us with valuable insights, data, and understanding needed to develop policies, programs, and initiatives, and thus is an important prerequisite of inventions, innovations, and progress. Thus, research and innovation go hand in hand. Research leads to innovation, and innovations require research.
Welcome. Standing here today, I am seeing the beautiful architects of our nations, shaping our society, women. We are shaping generations of generations with love, wisdom, resilience, and integrity. Good morning to all women kings. To our kings, men, we could not do magic without you all. Thank you for your constant support. Thank you for your patience, trust, and belief in us. We are saying merci beaucoup, abaraka, bara, inimbara, Jarama, Jokujal, Jeranger, merci. The most beautiful thing about Stem is that most of us, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, a year ago, we have a dream. We believe that someday we're going to have a positive impact in the STEM industry in the Gambia. Yes, we believe in that. Yes, we could do that. And yes, now we did it. Starting this journey as an auto industry was very hard for me, but with passion, I was able to conquer the challenge and break the barriers. With that, I will say good morning to the high table, good morning to our ambassadors, and good morning to everybody present here. Let me start before the Jengens will start crying because the violence is here today. So next, on the list, we are having Dr. Bintu Diba, PhD. She will be talking about gender and availability of climate change. Thank you.
So like I was saying, my email address is displayed because I've seen students in this forum. I am an educator. I have been an educator my entire life. And I would like to continue to work as an educator to teach people on climate change issues that are affecting our community. Okay, my presentation today, I would like to talk about awareness, belief, and understanding of climate change. I'm proud of women in STEM because we have different disciplines, we have different expertise, but not all of us here present are members of women in STEM. So it's important for us to talk about the understanding of climate change and how it affects our livelihood based on research findings. And then I'm going to also talk about some concepts of climate change, because we've heard the previous speakers talk about climate change risk, climate change vulnerability, and the like, and I will want us to understand what we meant by those concepts. And this one also, we're going to continue to talk about the impacts of climate change on our livelihood, and you will see scenarios that we have modeled to show how climate change is impacting on our livelihood. And finally, I will talk about how we stand as women in all these climate scenarios. And the chart displayed up there, you can see, this is some of the findings of the research that we have conducted, and then we try to see the belief, awareness, and understanding of household heads, individuals in our community. We realize that climate change awareness in the Gambia is high. The climate change belief, many people believe that the climate is changing, but when it comes to the understanding of climate change, unfortunately, it's limiting. You can see on the slide here, highlighted in red, only 30% of the population really understand what is climate change. Of course, we have a lot of people talking about climate change, but the understanding of climate change is very important for us, because that's the only way we can relate the environmental degradation that are going on in our community to our own behaviors. There is a lot that we are going through, in our community. We need to understand what are the causes of our vulnerability. So if you don't really understand climate change, then it will be difficult for you to relate the effects of climate change on our livelihood. Now, the next chart that you are seeing here, we extended the research to ask people who said they really understand climate change. We wanted to know what they think are the causes of climate change. And on the chart again, the one highlighted in red, you can see 73 or more than 70% of the population believe that climate change is caused by falling down of tree, that is deforestation. And this is not a surprise to us. In most cases, we see climate change adaptation interventions limited to tree planting and beach cleaning. And it's because of the limited knowledge we have when we talk about climate change that everybody thinks climate change is caused by deforestation. It's more than that. And I would like to analyze some of the causes of climate change and some of the impact of climate change on our livelihood in this presentation. So conceptualizing climate change is difficult, but I just brought the general or the generic definition of climate change, which is slow and gradual modification of average climate conditions, or in general, they would say change in average weather condition of a place over a long period of time. So this is the basic definition that we know. Despite its scientific conditions, the topic is of great importance. This is because, let's look at vulnerability. When we talk about vulnerability, in order for you to claim you have understood climate change, you have to understand the elements of vulnerability. Here, when we talk about vulnerability, we are looking at how exposed systems are or how sensitive systems are in terms of their adaptive capacity. So if you are highly exposed and you are highly sensitive to climate change impact, with limited adaptive capacity that we have seen in the Gambia, then we can simply say that majority of Gambians are exposed and sensitive, which means we are vulnerable to climate change. And then vulnerability and adaptation together forms the potential impact of climate change. You will find out that you have exposure and sensitivity, which are the potential impact. Based on the adaptability, adaptive capacity, then you can be able to evaluate your level of vulnerability.
That products are conceived with a mindful consideration of their end-of-life implications. By prioritizing durability, ease of disassembly, and the utilization of recyclable materials, we lay a groundwork for sustainable future where waste generation is curtailed from the very outset. Yet recognizing the inevitability of waste, we must employ a multifaceted strategy encompassing efficient and effective measures such as reuse, recycling, and reduction.
I want to start off by saying good morning. It's morning, I guess. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, executive members and president of Stem. My name is Binta Sise, and I attend Marina International School, Form 5. So, first of all, I would like to say it's an honor to be a part of this discussion, and I really appreciate being given the opportunity to be here. Now, waste management is a critical issue that demands our immediate attention. In my own words, I would like to say that waste refers to any material, substance, or byproduct that is no longer useful or required and is discarded, disposed of, or abandoned. Waste can take various forms, and it is generated from a wide range of activities, including household activities, industrial processes, agricultural practices, and more. Proper management of waste is crucial to minimize its environmental impact and to promote sustainability. It has become a mounting challenge. Our landfills overflow with non-biodegradable waste, leading to pollution and environmental degradation. There are different types of waste, broadly categorized on their origin, composition, and characteristics. The main types of waste include plastic waste, agricultural waste, radioactive waste, biomedical and healthcare waste, industrial waste, hazardous waste, and last but not the least, municipal solid waste, also known as household waste. Thank you very much.
How do you think waste can be managed?
Okay. Now, when it comes to waste, we have various types of ways of approaching this issue and producing different solutions. Now, waste management involves a combination of practices and strategies to handle, treat, dispose of, and reduce waste in an environmentally responsible manner. Here are several approaches to waste management. First off is the common 3 R's: reuse, reduce, and recycle. I will start off with reuse. For reuse, encouraging the reuse of items helps extend their lifespan and reduces the need for new production. This can include using refillable containers, repairing items instead of discarding them, and donating or selling used goods. Reduce. The most effective way to manage waste is to generate less of it in the first place. This can be achieved through practices such as reducing packaging, using durable and reusable products, and avoiding single-use items. Third, recycle. Recycling involves collecting and processing materials to create new products. Common recyclable materials include paper, glass, metal, and certain types of plastic. Governments, businesses, and individuals can contribute to recycling efforts by separating recyclables from other waste. Now, fourth, which is not really something that this country focuses more on, but like it is something we're doing today, which is public awareness and education. Informing the public about the importance of waste reduction, proper recycling, and responsible disposal is essential. Education programs can help raise awareness about the environmental impact of waste and encourage sustainable practices. Legislation and regulation. Governments play a crucial role in waste management through the development and enforcement of regulations. These regulations can cover waste disposal practices, recycling requirements, and the management of hazardous waste.
It is terrible because we go around the streets of the Gambia. We see a lot of things that are so disheartening. They break our hearts. We see trash all around the Gambia as if we do not have people living around. Because as human beings, we are termed as civilized animals, civilized organisms. So if that is being the case, we are supposed to be civilized in everything that we do. So as civilized human beings, so as civilized human beings, I don't see why we need to live in an environment that is littered everywhere, that is dirty. As citizens of the Gambia, sometimes we say it's the government, it's the government, it's the government. But sometimes it is not really the government, it is us. When I come out of my compound and I see that the surrounding of my house is dirty, I can volunteer and sweep it. Someone else is around, sweeps his surroundings. And if everyone else sweeps his or her surrounding, where will be dirty? Nowhere. And if I talk about the houses, we exclude the market areas. We know our markets are the worst when it comes to waste management. Well, our markets, we know it's normal for it to be dirty, but shouldn't it also be normal for it to be clean because it's human beings that are using that same market? It should be normal for it to be clean. But there is no day on earth that I am the Fatsama will go to a market and find the market very clean. Never. So I'm going to say this. So I am going to say this out clear that the waste management of the Gambia is terrible. It's horrible. And I think something really needs to be done about it as citizens. And before I end whatever I want to say, I'd like to say this to us, the citizens of the Gambia, that let us not wait for the government. Let us do things as citizens of the Gambia, because that is what makes us really good citizens. Keep your environment clean and live in a civilized environment as a civilized organism should. Thank you.
Basically, if I'm being honest here, I'm actually not aware of the law. Yeah, and I guess like are we all aware of the law here? No. So it's like the government, we are not doing some kind of things we have to do to make people be aware of the laws and the penalty they will be facing by doing such. I always see in my area, like, if others throw it, I will always only look at them like this. Because if you talk, they will be like, is here your compound? That's the only thing they say. You don't have right to tell them what to do. And I don't think, like, the anti-littering law, people are even aware of it. And even they are aware of it, others will be very ignorant to abide by it. Because Gambians here, we the Gambians here, to abide by things is very difficult. And even there is a law, like if at all there is a fine attached to it, others they will dodge paying it, since we are having corrupted leaders everywhere and corruption is everywhere. Others will rather dodge by paying it or do something else to pay it. So I don't think Gambians will even abide by the anti-littering law in the Gambia here. Thank you.
I would like to introduce myself. My name is Malek S. Mane, a grade 12 student from St. Joseph's High School. And going forward to my question, my first answer is no. And my reason is I can link it to what she just said. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. Because if you can tell, with the way waste is being managed in the country, it's like we don't even have dustbins in or outside our houses. I can remember there was a time KMC started putting dustbins in different places around the society, but recently I say that they have stopped and I hardly see dustbins when walking around. So that will lead to people eating and then throwing it out anywhere. And according to the anti-littering law, what I saw here is a person shall not throw or dispose litter on or anywhere around vacant property, or a person who contravenes this regulation commits an offense and is liable on conviction to a fine of not less than 1,000 and not more than $5,000. But is there any Gambian who have paid for litter in this country? I can use myself for an example. There are times that I act good and there are some times that I'm bad. I can be in a vehicle, I'll just suck my eyes, look left, look right, and then throw it outside the window. Who will use the law against me? Well, to be honest, we all talk about laws and laws and laws. Is there anyone trying to implement it? What I learned in government is that the function of the executive is to implement laws. Are they really doing their job? Because looking at the state of our country and then looking at the state of other countries, honestly, sometimes it's really disheartening. Just look at our neighboring country. You hardly go out and see places with litters everywhere, everywhere. But then why can we not do it? Like she said, are we not human beings? What's the problem with us? Sometimes we need to stop blaming the government. If they cannot provide us dustbins outside, we have dustbins in our houses. If we are walking outside and we have something that we need to throw, we have bags. Let's put it in our bags and get home and then dispose of it. We don't necessarily have to litter our country and then say that the government is not doing anything.
The question says, can you talk about some waste reduction habits that you and your friends can adopt? The answer is yes. Okay, I can adapt to that because I can't be cleaning my house and go out there, make the place dirty. It's not going to, it's really something that is not good. It's not a good behavior or a habit. We are trained from home that we should be clean, and cleanliness is next to godliness. So I cannot do something good at my house, then come outside and do worse than I can ever imagine to do in my house. Because if that happens, it's going to be a death penalty from my family. So please, my fellow friends and everybody seated here, you doing the right thing at home and going out there messing up is something that will not tell at all. Please. I will take an example of myself. There was this time that I was joking with one of my friends, and I took a litter and threw it on her. The worst embarrassment that I have got was a guy from nowhere came and picked up that litter and disposed it in a dustbin. So that is really an embarrassment to me because to me, it's like he's showing me that what you do to your house, do not go out there and do a different thing. It doesn't tell well because it's going to be like, if you are perfect at home, you need to be perfect outside too. So please, the only thing that I'll advise my fellow students is that if you're doing the right thing at home, try and do that outside because what you are doing really counts a lot. And besides, if you keep your home clean, you need to do that to the society as well. Thank you.
The ways we develop. But I want to know, right now everyone has these water bottles in front of them. Who here is going to take this home and reuse it? No. Are any of you going to reuse this? You see, most of us in here are not actually going to implement these ideas. So I think also another big thing is influence. Like, I have a friend, her name is Zara. Whenever we're at school and we want to litter, she would tell us, no, put this in your bag. Or like, we're about to throw something out, she would shout, Ramu, take this and put it in your bag until you get home. And I think that's a big thing that we need to do, because if you're in a friend group where everyone litters, or like, and you want to be clean, they'll be like, oh, kid for one, like this little thing is not gonna make a difference, just throw it. So I think we need to know that one small action can actually make a difference to our environment. Thank you.
So the question is, what environmental issue will require the most attention in the Gambia? So I think the environmental issue that will require the most attention is global warming. This is the direct implication of poor waste management.
So after we clean our homes, after we clean our streets, we need to think about, because those are not the only things that are causing the climate change. Think about the backwater dump site. It's not nice for the eye when we have guests coming to Gambia, driving past, and they see this and they're like, why do you have this? We have no reason for that. When we're going, it smells. People are walking to school and the road is smelling. It's not nice to be surrounded by an area where it's all trash and the government keeps adding trash and the people of the environment keep adding trash. So I think that instead of, like, after we think about ourselves and our streets, we should also help the community by helping clear the backwater dump site. Thank you. And
I will promote, I'll encourage people to be involved in doing scientific research to be able to come up with biodegradable plastics. That is very important, because we will have trash bins, yes, but there will still be plastic. And we know plastic cannot decompose. And when we burn it, we are doing something else to the climate, to the atmosphere. So the first thing I would do ever is going to encourage the creation of biodegradable plastics. Because it's been years we've been hearing of biodegradable plastics. But in the Gambia, I've never come across biodegradable plastics. I don't even think it's outside the Gambia. So the first thing I will do is promote the creation of biodegradable plastics, because no matter, even we know plastic is banned in the Gambia, but we still see plastics around. Because even the clothes, the branded clothes that we wear, they are still in plastics. So no matter how much we run away from plastic, it's like we'll always find plastic at our destination. So the only thing that we can do is work on creating biodegradable plastics that we can use universally to be able to reduce the risk of plastic. Because we know plastic cannot, it's not degradable. It cannot decompose in the soil. So it is also degrading our land. As West Africa, Gambia, we depend greatly, most of our population depend greatly on agriculture. They gain their food and everything from what they've worked for on land. So, like the 5 to 10 years thing, if plastic pollution has become so much so that most parts of our land is covered with plastic. I mean, with our poverty rate right now, and how do you expect our poverty rate to be in next years when we have plastic pollution? Even now that we have people, at least they are surviving from farming. So in next years that plastic pollution has become so much so that we cannot control it, how do you expect to feed the other population? We don't know how to do that. So I will, as a STEM member, promote the creation of biodegradable plastic. That would be the first thing.
I'm Dr. Jojandu Tambedu, your auntie, most of you, your friend, your peer, your colleague. I'm the advisor for the Gambia Women in STEM initiative. So I just wanted to remind all of you of what our mission is. So STEM was created to enable Gambian women in STEM to achieve their potentials, to advocate for positive system transformation, equitable workplaces, and leadership achievement for women and girls in STEM. But also we thought it was important to really start at the grassroots, where we empower and encourage girls to venture into the STEM fields so as to increase female representation in STEM. It has been an amazing year.
Stem was founded by Kodu Jenge with her very able executive team. In the past year, a lot has been achieved, mashallah. We have done a lot of mentorship, sensitization campaigns. A lot of you would have seen the NFGM flyer, e-flyer that was out there. It had a lot of impact. Scholarship information and facilitation. We have weekly technical webinars, trainings that we offer. Currently, we have the cybersecurity training that's currently going on and boot camps. We offer internships. We have a network of professionals. And when we have some of our graduates, when they need internships, we offer them internships. We also have school chapters. That's the best part of VSTEM, I think. You people are just amazing. Clap for yourselves. Well done for today. You all give me hope. I think Gambia is going to change with you, with your generation. And so we're doing a lot of STEM advocacy. In addition to what we have already done in the past year, we have our STEM Girls Clubs. Although we have to say currently we have about 9 chapters, but none in the rural areas. So we need to do better, be more inclusive. The plan is that in this phase, we will be going to the rural areas as well. We're thinking of having STEM kits, to have this in schools. This will really drive innovation and creativity. Career fairs. I mean, my alma mater is Marina, and I remember when I first came to Gambia, we used to have career fairs there. I used to participate in those fairs. I've been to Bakote as well, where we had career fairs. Also at Sibek as well, where my daughter is. But a lot of the other schools, they do not have counseling, career counseling. So we also want to bring our professionals to your schools and hold career fairs where we can advise and guide you on what to do and what careers to go for. We want to also offer training on research methodology, continue our mentorship programs. It's not only having a senior member being a mentor to a more junior member, but how about peer mentorship between ourselves as well? Community outreach program, a concept has already been drafted. Is it Dr. Tito or Dr. Bintu? Dr. Bintu has already drafted a concept on that. Also have an award night where we celebrate all of you, everyone that's breaking barriers and doing very well in their field. And this is really exciting. We're going to have a nationwide STEMathon. Are you excited? Yes. Introduction, we think that it's really important to introduce you to research at a very young age. And maybe to just briefly give you a context. So my first degree was in biomedicine. Then my PhD was in immunology. However, I felt that, and then I published a lot of papers, also discovered some mechanisms of action. But I felt like I needed something more tangible and I needed to make more of an impact. So what we want to do is that to introduce you to research methodology, but research for a purpose, to have an end goal, to come up with a solution to a problem that we have as people, as Gambians. That's what we want to do with you. So we're going to have a televised, this is going to be on TV. So if you're TV shy, hey, get ready. It's going to be televised, it's going to be national, featuring all you girls from our chapters. You will form groups, 60 to start off with. We will have 15 per theme, 15 in science, 15 in technology, 15 in engineering, 15 in maths. And we will have these episodes. It's going to be aired on the Fatu network, starting off with, online, and then after we will also have it on TV, such as QTV as well, as the online TVs. For one round, each team will have 4 judges from the WeSTEM membership. Are you ladies ready? The group leaders will pitch the concept. So in your schools, you will have your group leader, and you will pitch. In entrepreneurship, we're used to pitching. However, in our schools or in the technical setting, they're not used to that. But it's really important. You have a concept, you have an idea. How can you now tell that idea? How can you communicate that idea? How can you convince people that your idea is important and will make a difference?
I think the device might be low.
The battery.
Do we have a charge?
Oh.
I think mine
Okay. So the second round, we will now shortlist you all to 20 groups. And then the final round, we will have 5 finalists. And these finalists will be mentored by senior STEM experts who, have you watched kind of like X Factor? Have you watched X Factor, right? Nobody wants to be in Simon's team. Right? So we will have, so I don't know who will be in my team, but we will have the different experts leading and then choosing these concepts, right? And we have to fight on who now has to own the best team or the best concept. Then we will guide you from that concept to make sure at the end of it, from that ideation or concept phase, we can come up with a tangible prototype or an MVP, and we commercialize this. We will look for sponsors to be able to commercialize it. There's no reason why you should come up with an idea and bam, in the next 6 months we have that product and we can start selling it and make something out of it. But also we can start using it and making a difference from it. Are you excited? Yes. After the STEMathon, we've all, including that, we've also partnered with the Permian Health Lung Institute. So you've just seen the two founders, Dr. Sunkaru Toure and Dr. Awasabali Toure, who are Gambians, currently medical professionals, senior medical professionals living in the US. What they've just said is that they've also pledged to give 5 weather stations to 5 school chapters. Isn't that exciting? These cost thousands of dollars. Some of our researchers have never seen this. You're going to have this in your schools. This can also lead to air pollution. Because of the increase in industrialization, there's been a substantial increase in pollution levels, air pollution levels in the Gambia, especially in urban areas. And most of it comes from where? Vehicles, the waste that we burn, the solid fuels we use when cooking, industrial activities, especially smoking fish, charcoal, sand mining, and welding. These activities release pollutants such as particulate matter, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides, and carbon monoxide into the atmosphere. And these have health implications. It can cause serious health risks for the population when we inhale the particulate matter, and it can lead to respiratory problems, including asthma, bronchitis, and reduced lung function. It can also exacerbate existing cardiovascular conditions and increase the risk of heart attacks and strokes. And sometimes there are long-term effects, and the most vulnerable are the children and the elderly. Studies have shown that exposure to pollutants at young ages can have long-term impacts on lung development, potentially leading to lifelong respiratory issues. And this is why we partnered with the Permian Health, the Lung Institute. So they're an advocacy and research center for lung health, which empower communities through education, research, and providing the highest quality of care to patients suffering from respiratory illnesses. They are actively engaged in lung health initiatives and awareness campaigns. And I believe that STEM is really important in developing environmental health literacy. Why do I think so? It provides a strong foundation for developing literacy of students, one. It develops critical thinking, communication, and numeracy skills. It develops deep knowledge of systems and processes. And STEM also allows for informed evaluation and use of environmental health information in our daily lives. And I think you all can do something about it. Let's raise awareness of effects also of air pollution. Another program that we can have is looking at air quality awareness and having a program for this. What is air pollution and the impact it can have on us and the environment? Let's communicate this to the communities as well as the schools. Let's investigate the levels of air pollution around your school now that you're going to have your weather stations. Let's introduce the science behind it so people understand and have the foundational knowledge, and let's turn your knowledge and skills into action. It's not because you're school children that you cannot turn these skills into action. I believe you can do that. Currently, Permian Health have IQ air sensors, and these tell you about the air quality. In Gunjur, so there's something called the PM 2.5 level, and the recommended level is 5 microgram per cubic meter. And currently in Gunjur is 28, and remember, WHO recommended level is 5. In Brusubi, 77, that's the average. It may be because of the roadworks, yeah? In Tangi, it's 42. In Bijilo, it's 33. In Birkama, it's 31. In Kanifing Estate, it's 21. And these are all above the recommended level by WHO. So let's look at the levels of air pollution in our environment. That's the Bakote dump site there at the bottom. And how can we put whatever, when we do research or have this data, how can we put our findings into action to drive change? You can all write letters to your wards. You know, every area that you're in, you have a ward or a councillor. Do you know that? Yes. Let's write letters to our wards. You have the Children's Parliament. You can all present there. Let's have a representative to present there. This morning, I think we still have the MP here, right? Let's give him a round of applause. So that's our recommendation, Honorable. Let's have a representative from Stem, the Girls Club, to talk about issues and raise awareness as well. We attend workshops, but when you do attend these workshops, even this meeting, when you go back home, talk to your family members and friends and sensitize them. We can look at having plays and sketches in the local languages so that when we now talk to the community, they understand us as well. And I think one thing we can also do is celebrate Clean Air Day yearly. Can we commit to that? Yeah? So we need to have tangible outcomes of this meeting today. Look at target groups, youth groups, women groups. We have Auntie Beatrice here from GWCC. Let's give Auntie Beatrice a round of applause for being with us the whole day. Let's look at the women groups. They're the mothers. They have a lot of influence. They can drive change in the homes. You also have the informal women groups like the Kafus, we call them. Let's engage with them. We can have online campaigns. We can have sensitization on different media channels, but also, like I mentioned, let's not forget our local languages. Engage councils, engage ministries, we can do that. We're involved in strategy and policy formulation and development, so we can also engage the ministry at that level, work with the different groups. When we do collect data, let's be able to present that data, disseminate that data, and present it in a way that our people will understand it and come up with actionable targets. So just for me, also as part of the partnership with Permian Health, they are looking at having a master's students from Stem to work with them on a project. Come up with a publication, but also look at how they can have a PhD program from it. I think that's exciting. Interesting things that we can look at, gender effects. So we know that gender affects the presence of exposure itself. There are sex differences that determine the dose through dermal thickness and permeability, sex differences in biological transport and target organs which can determine health outcomes. Are these possibly modified by gendered behavioral co-exposures? And I think these are questions that we can look at. So we are saying that Stem can also be publishing. I think that's another outcome that can come out of this. Look at gender analysis. How can we disaggregate the social from the biological differences? How can we elucidate these possible sources of effect modification? This is a saying from Robert Orban, which says there's so much pollution in the air now that if it weren't for our lungs, there'd be no place to put it on. Do you get that? Now, so the video was meant to come now, but they played it before. So, hi, our high school crew, doctors, we're excited. And let's come up with key metrics for all of the work that we do going forward. We are going to now, next year this time, we will tell you the number of individuals that have attended our trainings and our workshops, what have been our engagement rate on our social media platforms, how many workshops we have held, what are the number of publications and articles that we have published. These are all metrics that we will be able to present to you. So thank you. This is a picture of some of my girls from St. Joseph's, Marlene, Bahe, Tida, Aisha, Khadija. Well done. We're proud of all of you girls. Keep it up.
Inaugurated officially so that we all prepare and sit back and watch what is going to blow our minds. These kids will blow our minds, but we will not say much. We will let her come forward and inaugurate this STEMathon. As she has given you an idea of what the STEMathon is about, but we have to officially inaugurate it as we go into starting the televising it, right? As we go ahead into televising it. So please, Doctor, I will not allow you to give me this honor. You need to do it.
First, we want to thank the Fatu Network. When we first engaged them, we didn't have any funding. And they just said, whatever you have, we can go ahead. So we can have our first episodes till we can get sponsorship to sustain the program. But also the Q Group Foundation have been key sponsors for us. And also, after a few episodes, we want to also have it aired on QTV as well. So I don't know whether both May and Mariam, they don't talk like I do. I talk a lot.
Good afternoon to everyone. I really want to say thank you to the members of STEM Club for giving us this wonderful opportunity. I believe as we are going back today, we are implementing we are starting with the action now. So this is the time for us to make a change. This is the time for us to make Gambia pure, clean, so that together we shall live happily in Gambia. Thank you very much. We are proud of you all.
Okay, I have been given the singular honor, wow, what an honor, to declare the STEMathon inaugurated, and I would love to congratulate everyone here. I never go by rules. I have one thing to say. My favorite panel was the high school panel. Yes. Absolutely amazing, girl. And you know, you guys will notice one thing, when we adults speak, we're always measured. These kids gave it to us raw, and as it should be, right? And this is why we need more young people in leadership. I just wanted to remind us all of one thing. When we talk about waste management, everyone spoke about keep it in your bag until you have a chance to throw it away. Perfect. But when it comes to organic waste, always look for a tree or a vegetable patch or somewhere where there is good soil to throw it into. Watermelon seeds, kaba, banana peels. Do not put them in a bag and do not put them in your bin. Throw them in the soil where fertile soil, not out in the streets. Throw them in any fertile soil because it composts naturally. Great. Thank you.
That's amazing. So today's conference has been more about environmental scientists, right? But then the techies, hey, we have to take over. Let's also use AI to sort our waste. Can we do that? Yay! Technology wins. So thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Distinguished guests, President and Founder, Women in Stem Gambia, lecturers, teachers, parents, students, all protocols respectfully observed. It is with great honor that I stand here today to deliver the vote of thanks and appreciate the devotion of all those who worked relentlessly to make this event a success. As Public Relations Officer, Women in STEM Gambia, I would like to, on behalf of WISTEM, extend my sincere gratitude to our keynote speaker, Kani Job, who is the Director of Exploration and Production, GNPC. Thank you, Kani, for delivering such an educative keynote speech at very short notice. We appreciate that, and we apologize. To the Chief Information Officer of Q Group Foundation, Madam Aissatou Sekaja, I wish you were here to hear this. Thank you, Madam, for your continuous participation, both in cash and kind. in the activities of wisdom, especially towards this conference. Thank you for sparing time to come and grace our occasion, and also accepting to deliver such beautiful speech, which has given this conference the sparkle it needed. And to our guest speaker, Mr. Mukhtar M.Y. Dabo, DPS Technical, Minister of Education, Research, Science and Technology, Mohas, your speech truly made this day enlightening for us. We are grateful for the ministry's continued involvement in wisdom's growth. Mohas, under the leadership of Professor Pierre Gomez, ensured wisdom had a groundbreaking launching, and they keep involving us in their activities. This we will forever be grateful for. Bravo, wisdom expert speakers. Your deep intellectual presentations have added great value to this event. We have learned a lot today. All of you did justice to the topic and revealed very interesting facts. Thank you very much. We are beyond grateful to our president and founder, Kodu Jenge, who is the catalyst and who stimulated this event. She has outdone herself again. I repeat, she has outdone herself again. She is the mastermind of this event. When she said it, I said, the time is short, we can't do it. And as quiet as she is, she makes things happen magically. Believe me if I say this. Thank you, Madam President, for giving every Gambian girl hope to achieve the unimaginable. Wisdom is in awe of the support we get from our dearest advisors, Dr. Bumi Kamara of the African Development Bank, Madam Biran Donde of the Hub, and Dr. Jojondu Tambedu, CEO, Insys Global. I am short of words for Dr. Jojondu Tambedu's overwhelming support. She is our advisor, but definitely does more than advising us. Doctor, we appreciate you a lot. We appreciate all your contributions, both cash and time, and we will never take it for granted. Thank you very much. With so much delight, I am saying a very big thank you to the Wisdom Executive Body, Conference PRO Task Force, and Conference Agenda Team. You are a beacon of hope for the next generation. Our sincere gratitude goes to each and every member of Wisdom and girls in STEM too. These STEM members, thank you very much. Thank you for your readiness to see all STEM barriers broken. With a deep sense of appreciation, we thank all our girls in STEM teacher coordinators who make it very easy for us to manage these clubs in the various schools. Our endless gratitude goes to the teachers and students too. We would like to specifically thank our sponsors. We would like to especially thank our sponsors for making this event a success. The European Union, the Gambia, the Q Group Foundation, AfriJula, Insys Global, QCell, Mr. Mamadou Musa Diouf, West African Takaful, Madam Fatou Cisse ZTech, Zahra Innovative Global Technology, Sun Fai and team, especially Halima, American Corner Bundung. Thank you very much. We appreciate you all. Thank you for making this event a success. We will always remember your support and commitment to our cause. To conclude, I would like to say thank you to Mr. Ba, Director of Science and Technology Education Directorate, and Madam Jansa Bamboj, STEM Coordinator, Ministry of Basic Education, Basic and Secondary Education, for making time to attend this conference on such short notice. We appreciate you a lot. Our appreciation to all guests here today. You made this conference a memorable one, and thank you for being here with us. Allah baraka bake. On jarama.
Good afternoon to you all. My name is, I'm not good in public speaking, so I have to try today. My name is Jamila Wai Bojang, a student of Mansakoli Bojang. And I'm here to give you a challenge. Another girl was sitting here, she said that the time she threw garbage at the roadside, someone picked it up and then she was embarrassed. I know what that action that make her embarrassed will make others embarrassed too. So I'm telling you that I'm giving you a challenge. If you see another person throwing garbage at the roadside, make sure that you carry that garbage and throw it in the dustbin, so that the person will also feel embarrassed. Do it to another person, they'll feel embarrassed. At the end, nobody will feel. Thank you.
That's amazing. You have a challenge. Hey, we're having a lot of outcomes from this meeting. When we leave, we will have exhibitors out there. Today we have exhibition from Permian Health. We have exhibition from the First Global Challenge Gambia Robotics team, the Kids in Technology team. We have the girls, Khadija and her girls that will be showing us recyclable materials. We have table. Have I missed anyone? And the Mbolo Foundation, they also have an exhibition outside as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope we all take up the challenge. So this officially brings us to the end of the program. Let's continue having this discussion amongst ourselves and in our daily lives. Enjoy the exhibitions and have an amazing rest of your day. Until our next meeting, I'm Ami Taylor. I've been your host, and goodbye and thank you all. And a huge thank you. The media personnel have been bugging me so that I could give them their vote of thanks. You know what? I am part of you. I study journalism. I'm just not practicing, but I'm part of you guys. So thank you so much for your amazing coverage of today's event. A round of applause for the media.